one cannot emphasize enough the symbolic and strategic significance of the need to recognize artists of diverse cultures. It is to this essential, generous-spirited impulse that these awards take their inspiration.
I think it's really an expression of the soul, ultimately. And my heart sings when I hear a beautiful piece of music, and to me that's a spiritual experience, a heightened spiritual experience.
Welcome everyone. My name is Feiruz Nishanova. I serve as the director of the Aga Khan Music Awards and the Aga Khan Music Initiative. And I'm very glad to welcome you here tonight. I want to begin by expressing my deepest thanks to all of you who made these awards possible. The nominators, who led us to many incredible musicians we knew nothing about. To our laureates and finalists, who had a long and harrowing journey on the way to Lisbon. To awards steering committee and the master jury, whose hardest task is still ahead of them. To the events managers and my co-producers, who are making all moving parts of this weekend finally come together. To the local colleagues from the Aga Khan Development Network, the Diwan of the Ismaili Mamat, and many volunteers from the Ismaili community. To the government of Portugal and the city of Lisbon, and special and profuse thanks to the leadership and tireless staff of the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation. Finally, deep and profound gratitude to the patrons of the Aga Khan Music Awards, His Highness the Aga Khan and Prince Amin Aga Khan, for the clarity and generosity of your vision. We thank you. Before we begin our 3 days of celebration, I'm very happy to announce that the Postal Services of Portugal commemorated the Aga Khan Music Awards with the issuance of a new stamp. And here tonight with us to officiate over the ceremonial first cancellation of the stamp is Senor Raul Moreira, who is the Philately Director of the Portugal Post Service. Please welcome him on stage.
Thank you, Father. Today we honor the Aga Khan Music Awards, and we honor these music awards with a special souvenir sheet, special because, number one, it was printed with a special ink used mainly in banknotes that changed the color according to the incidence of the light, and also special because we have developed an algorithm of augmented reality that will allow smartphones to access a video clip with contents related to this event.
I think it creates the possibility of understanding between East and West. The world is becoming ever more divided. And therefore, when you have an initiative like this, which allows people to feel kindly towards one another, I think it's a tremendous thing.
And welcome to the inaugural concert of the 2019 Aga Khan Music Awards. On behalf of the Awards Steering Committee, the Master Jury and Secretariat, I'd like to say how honoured we are to have all of you here this evening. This celebration is the product of weeks, months, and frankly, years of planning. And I'd like to convey our gratitude to all of those who have so generously contributed to making this very first edition of the awards possible.
Let me begin by stating the great honor for the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation to co-host the first edition of the Aga Khan Music Awards, an initiative which I believe will be of paramount importance for the recognition of tradition-inspired contemporary music in cultures shaped by Islam, but also for the intercultural dialogue. This is a time of great pressure. Once again, in the history of humanity, we see religious and cultural identities being manipulated in order to foment violence and intolerance towards others and their cultural heritage. We need a world in which different entities and cultures are respected and where we can share an idea of common good. Music is a language of tolerance, and I'm sure that these 3 days, will be a demonstration of tolerance as well as artistic brilliance, as our friend Prince Amin will explain in a few minutes. I wish you all an unforgettable evening, and Prince Amin, the floor is yours. Thank you.
This evening's concert celebrates the inauguration of the Aga Khan Music Awards, established by my brother, His Highness Aga Khan, to recognize exceptional creativity, promise, and enterprise in music performance, creation, education, preservation and revitalization, and engendering social inclusion in societies across the world in which Muslims have a significant presence. Portugal is a shining example of a pluralistic society, united while remaining conscious of its diversity, historical past and culture, and is thus fitting that the first awards and this first ceremony, along with the related concerts and events, should take place here. I am grateful indeed to the Government of Portugal for its support and to the Gulbenkian Foundation for providing us their superb facilities for what I think is an exceptional occasion. This happy event is particularly meaningful to me personally, as it represents the actualization of an idea that I first broached to my brother almost 2 decades ago, when the Aga Khan Trust for Culture was taking its first steps toward the inclusion of music revitalization in its cultural development portfolio. My idea was to establish a music prize that would aspire toward a level of worldwide visibility and impact in its field, analogous to that of the Aga Khan Award for Architecture. Music has always been an art of special importance to me. Its power of communication is special, enormous and universal. It binds people together and unites them. The Aga Khan Music Awards are expected to fill a unique cultural role. Among the world's many music prizes, none, as far as I know, currently focuses on the full spectrum of devotional music and poetry, indigenous classical music, traditional folk music, and tradition-inspired contemporary music, which has flourished and which we would like to see continue to flourish in cultures shaped by Islam. These musical genres and styles remain important in today's world as they embody music's traditional role as a source of spiritual enlightenment, moral inspiration, and social cohesion. At a time when strengthening tolerance and pluralism has become an acute worldwide priority, music is one of the arts which offers a medium for reaching, involving, and uniting global audiences by engendering emotions which we all share as human beings. I once said that music is made of dreams and the echo of dreams, and I believe mankind shares the same dreams in large measure. Not only does this evening's concert celebrate the inauguration of the Music Awards, it also marks the debut of a collaboration between the Gulbenkian Orchestra and the master musicians of the Aga Khan Music Initiative. The compositions by the master musicians that we will hear were arranged for the Gulbenkian Orchestra by Dmitry Yanov-Yakovsky, who lives in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, who is an admired composer in his own right, and who has been a long-time collaborator of the Aga Khan Music Initiative. The movement has been reversed. Instead of music which is trying to sound what the audience would think of as Oriental, We are moving toward a music emanating directly from the East, but including Western elements, and even in time with perhaps Western instruments. For what risk being pastiche, we are moving toward a new, broader, inclusive music that repeats and includes different traditions, different sounds, different rhythms. A new inclusive language. Music is by definition an evolutionary art, and musical composition has always evolved. Men have always traveled and have always taken their music with them, modifying and transforming their traditional music as they heard the music of the people they met. It is our hope and aspiration for the Aga Khan Music Awards they should serve as a catalyst for many future projects that draw on this rich tapestry of Muslim musical heritage, while reaching across the boundaries of time, place and culture, assimilating the traditions and characteristics of other heritages into a global pluralistic sound. Musicians are irrepressible innovators. They implicitly understand that music must evolve to remain alive and culturally relevant.
My first master was my grandma, and you know, like you take it all in, and you don't realize that you are being a disciple. When I start composing consciously, it just came all running out.
Welcome to the performances by finalists for the Aga Khan Music Award in Performance. And today's sessions have been designed to allow us and members of the master jury who are sat here in amongst you to experience directly the power of live performance. So the objective of today's performance is not so much to display technical virtuosity, as much as it is to share the qualities of musicianship and artistry that reflects the aims and aspirations of the Music Awards, which is namely to recognize music's traditional role as a source of spiritual enlightenment, moral inspiration, and social cohesion. Once all the artists have performed, the master jury will deliberate and select a laureate for the award of performance.
نفس الفداء لكل كفء عارف أهوي على قدميه غير مبالي أتريد معرفة الجحيم بكنهها إن الجحيم لصحبة الجهال إن الجحيم لصحبة الجهال
دور خوبی گذران است نصیحت بشنو عزيز أيها الخوف عزيز 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 أيها الخوف يمام والهوى يمام وليا يمام والهوى يمام وليا وعبرك عنه يا ريت صدري جسر وعبرك عنه وعيش أنا وياك عيشة فلسطينية
I am delighted to announce that the master jury has spent a very intense hour and a half having a fruitful, enriching, and quite emotional discussion, at the end of which they have managed to come to a unanimous conclusion.
The Aga Khan Music Award in Performance for exceptional artistic achievement that embodies music's traditional role as a source of spiritual enlightenment, moral inspiration, and social cohesion is presented to Mustafa Saeed.
There is so much noise, and for many people that is part of the aesthetic that they like to listen to. The traditional classical music is a reminder of the art of listening in a way, and it may be also an invitation to be still, to be grounded, to really delve internally.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this seminar associated with the inaugural Aga Khan Music Awards. My name is Jonathan Mills, and it is my pleasure to introduce and moderate this seminar, a timely opportunity to discuss and reflect upon the activities of the past couple of days, and to recognise the enormous achievement of hosting these awards barely a year after His Highness the Aga Khan announced them on the festive holiday of Navrosh as a spring awakening on the 21st of March 2018. I'm going to ask the first question to the chair of the steering committee, Prince Amin. Prince Amin, what is the purpose of these awards?
That's a huge question. I think, in fact, you've already answered it yourself. The purposes, there are multiple purposes. One, to assist and stimulate musicians, both performers and composers, in the cultures of Muslim cultures that we know, in the areas that we know. Secondly, to assist them, to assist this knowledge to go global, so that the music can evolve not only locally, but it can evolve globally in the dialogue of cultures that will ensue. So the idea, I think, is to form a global group of musicians performing and composing, whose music emanates from our traditions, but has evolved since.
Thank you. These awards are not only generous in the amount of cash that has been made available, but equally important is their desire, in fact perhaps uniquely important, is the desire of these awards to promote and develop the careers of the artists who are part of this process. Can you talk from an educator's perspective on what that might mean and what we should be thinking about in that context?
The importance of this award is not only what happens here and now, but what happens from here forward, and the continual support development and evolution of these artists. It's an ongoing process. Can I just indulge in a personal observation that is slightly apart from your question? I want to express my gratitude for this experience because I had one very direct reaction at 7:30 last night after whatever it was, 9 hours of listening to these fantastic artists. I simply felt better about the world. And if that's a and if that's a gift that this process and this award can give, then there's no greater gift. So for that, thank you.
If we had 70 nominations from Central Asia, we had perhaps 3 from Malaysia. So we obviously know what is our homework between now and the next cycle. But again, this is my shout out that I will continue repeating myself tirelessly. Please nominate. Please continue to nominate. Those who were not selected this cycle for one reason or another, this is a rigorous jury, but they also had very limited period of time. Please continue to nominate. When we speak of artists or cinematographers or actors in the Western world, we never hesitate to say that this is a 3-time Grammy nominee or a 5-time Oscar nominee. My hope is that in 10 years' time, an artist will be characterized as 3 times ACMA nominee and first-time ACMA winner. So please continue to nominate and help us discover and support excellence that is out there but unknown to us.
Thank you.
Each of the musicians has a large role within their society. That they're teachers, researchers, performers, composers. Many of them are doing all of these things at the same time.